Okay, so in my last video I talked about 3 different paintings that I'm working on. This is one of them. Today I'm hoping to work on this little doodad, King Femme, and possibly my African American girl who I'm kind of crazy about, but I'm not sure I have enough Neo McGill or have enough medium to do all 3. So instead of like wringing my hands and lamenting and procrastinating, you know, because I just don't have everything I want and need, instead I'm, excuse me, I'm a little warm, instead I'm going to focus on what I have, on the materials I have, and the 3 projects and how far can I get with what I have in stock. And I know I have a lot of oil pastels. And yesterday I was talking about texture and adding texture which adds depth and brings more of a conversation from the painting between the, builds more of a conversation between the painting and the viewer. So I'm going to stay in those lines. This little painting I said last night, I said yesterday in my last video, I've had it to the side for 4 years. It's a photograph a friend of mine, Heather Adels, gave me. Heather was an artist, a great artist, and a great human being from Providence, Rhode Island. She has passed away, and you know, it was a heartbreaking thing for me, but she allowed me to use some images, and this happens to be one. But this has been sitting to the side for 4 years because I couldn't quite figure out what to do with it. I think Happy Children Sucking Lollipops is deeply uninteresting. So I'm trying to, I've been looking at it and trying to find my way of painting. That thing that makes it fun for me and interesting for me and an adventure in painting, and also helps the viewer to connect on a deeper level. So I've decided to put in, yesterday I was leaving for work, I looked over and went, I'm going to put in oil pastel lines. And it's not that I'm going to use them as the beginning to the end of the painting, sort of. I'm using it just as another layer to capture light and or reject light, so that we're adding something really interesting. As you know, I use white gesso and black gesso, all in swipes to start off my paintings. So we've got that layer, glossy white gesso, flat black gesso, which then I can add a pencil to or ebony to. And we've got, you know, one layer of material that's either accepting and bouncing back light or rejecting it completely, or accepting a little bit of glare. So that's one layer. But another layer is aerosol, which I use under all my paintings. And sometimes I allow the aerosol to show through, and other times I don't. Sometimes I just end up blocking it, most of it out, or all of it out, with oil paint. And then of course we've got the many layers of oil paint and the mediums that accept light, bounce light back out, or reject it completely. And this is the adventure in painting for me, and what my audience seems to really connect with. I don't use varnishes at all, and I'm oftentimes asked, what kind of varnishes do you use? Zippity-doo-dah-day. There are painters that use it because it is a part of their oeuvre. It is just simply a part of their process, their system in building a painting. There are other painters, I believe, use it as a mask and kind of like a magic trick. Look at how glossy this is, and then you're not really paying attention to the layer underneath, the technique. I've just made it shiny and pretty. And so I just push all of that aside, the varnish aside, because I could fall into this very, very easily. Instead, what I want to do is have the viewer feel the act of painting, feel the act of developing a piece of artwork. So I leave it flat, and it works out how it works out. Maybe the medium allows for that light, that gloss that people get in varnish. Possibly not. We just don't know till we get there. So back to using whatever we have on hand to create work. I'm using oil pastel. Let me pull this in a little bit so you can see. Kind of see the lines I've been working in. I've been putting down oil pastel lines in all different yellows and teals and blues and greens and reds and different colors. And now I'm going through with mineral spirits on a cloth and kind of washing them. So it's not just, oh look, I made a line. We're getting varying feel. Sometimes it washes out completely, like that just happened. Sometimes it drips a bit, which was happening up here. But it allows me to look for something else in here. Look for another layer of interest and intrigue. Look for something I may not have found, or to find something I may not have seen if I had just said, I'm putting down this line. Look, I am painting a pumpkin. There it is. Look, I am putting a line over it. Instead, I'm thinning them out. I'm washing them off. I'm enhancing them. I'm taking them away. Kind of a random way, too. Or I'm adding color. That's what's happening over here. I'm adding a new yellow, which then I can work over using oils. I can really work with it. So this is one of the techniques that I use, and I've used in several paintings, including one, let me move this back again, including one I finished several months ago, so, a painting called, I gotta find the camera again, there it is, including one, a portrait of Sophie Scholl. So if you look it up online, Sophie Scholl, Beck Lane artist, you'll see it. I wanted to do this portrait, but I needed it to have real depth, more depth than just a portrait of a woman, a controversial woman, you know, who, not a controversial woman, but a woman who fought against the Nazis. In Germany during War II. I didn't want to be like, well, here's a portrait of a pretty young woman and she was brave. I wanted real depth that you could sink your teeth into. You feel like you could reach your hands into and feel her character and her strength and just kind of be so, hopefully, like this isn't the most arrogant thing in the world, be so captivated by the technique and the image that you had to learn more about her. And that's what I want in my paintings. I want people to see more than just young girl with lollipop. You know, we want more. So that's what I'm doing today with the materials that I have. Next video will hopefully be about doing folds using the little bit of Neoma Gilp and mineral spirits that I have to make folds in, or to find, oh God, I can't remember. I'm sweating again. I hate sweating. Using an opposing color to build interest and to get this sheen and shine I've been looking for in King Fem's suit, and tying her face into the rest of the figure, which I've somehow lost along the way. I may have figured out though. Anyway, that's it. Studio mate in another state, and will be the next video. Hopefully, I gotta go drink some water and sit in the air conditioning for just a sec. All right, ciao.